Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Mobile Must Have Live. My name is Dave. I'm the Director of Special Projects for MobileMustHave.com. And today we have our fearless head of marketing, Andy, the man Murphy, here.
Hi, guys.
Andy, what are we talking about today?
So today we wanted to talk about Black Friday, as we are kind of an online store. So Black Friday is consuming the world of e-commerce, basically for the month of November. So wanted to talk about the particular items we have on sale, kind of highlight why certain things are on sale, what they're good for, and I think there's some really good deals on right now. So just kind of wanted to talk about that and
Very good.
what,
And
what,
as
what's good to
always,
know.
if you guys have questions about anything, please feel free to post it in the comments. I will get back to you
Yes.
and we'll try and answer them as we go here.
This
But
one is a great Q&A overall because we're going to be covering so many different topics just because of we have such a wide sale. So please
yeah,
ask questions if you have any.
yeah, absolutely. So uh what's first? What's the first thing
Yeah.
that is a black
So
I know these sales are all by the way, I just want to note before we start that I think all these sales are live at this point, correct?
that's what I was going to cover first. Everything we're going to talk about is currently on sale. This is not a preview of any sort. So you can go on mobilemusthave.com, and the main image that loads, if you click on the shop now, will take you to our Black Friday collection. So if you did kind of want to scroll through this as we're sitting here talking, you are welcome to do that and then ask any questions. The first, we have a couple categories. So I'll say the categories first, and then we can dive deeper into each category. Excuse me. The first one, and we'll talk about is internet. Then I want to talk about surge protection, tire safety, as we have two different versions of tire. We have TST and our Vire product lines are on sale. And then we have all of our cable entry solutions also on sale. So we kind of break that out. But so kind of those main, was it four or five collections on sale. And again, you can see that all on our site.
Very cool. Well, so do you want to walk through sort of category by category as far as like what
Yeah.
the actual sales are?
Yeah. So we have, and I'll start with internet, and we have a couple main really good routers. We've got four main routers currently on sale. The first one is going to be the Transit Pro Duo. It is a dual LTE modem. It is, if you were going to say what router would you suggest getting started with if you're traveling, this is the number one. It's $200 off, so it's 20% off. It's usually $999. So it's rock bottom pricing. It's a really good deal on that router. It's the best. It's the best deal we've had on that router. And our top recommendation, if you're getting started, we all started with this Transit Duo, so it's a really good one. It is LTE, so it's not 5G, but LTE has gotten so fast with 5G really taking bandwidth off of LTE, so it would be what I recommend. You're gonna have good band support. You're gonna have AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile support. It's certified on all of those networks. It's just a super solid. It also works great with Starlink because as the upgraded processor, it is a very solid device. And that is the Peplink Transit Pro Duo. That's that one. The next one is going to be the Balance 20X. It's a great entry level device, or if you are in a rural home or small business, that's where this kind of device that's where it was designed for. It comes with a pretty entry level modem built in, but what's really great about the Balance 20 is it has an expandable port. So you can add in additional modems to make it a dual modem router. So you can add in a 5G. You could add in a mid-range one if you wanted to go like a Cat 12 or something more basic. So very customizable. That one is also a little bit more future-proof because you can always add in a different module if you wanted to change it out. It does have Starlink support. You've got that WAN connection. It has Wi-Fi as WAN now with the new firmware. So it's a good option. It's bigger. It's not necessarily designed to be mobile, but could be a good option if that feature set kind of fits your needs.
But a good example would be like let's say you live in an RV but you also have a home. If you wanted to add Peplink capability fairly reasonably to your home, it's not a bad way to go.
It's a good option. I know our owner Eric has a couple Balance 20Xs sitting around his house, as he has like stationary locations as well as his RV. So it's definitely a good unit, and one that, yeah, they've just upgraded to the Cat 7 base. So yeah, it's a solid unit. Now there are two other ones, and it's in the BR1 kind of series. So the BR1 and the BR2, the main difference, and actually I have a BR2 sitting here. They are basically, they're very similar in their 5G units. So this is a BR2 unit. And the BR1 is very similar, but it's single modem. This is the BR2, so this is going to be two modems. And with this series, everything is 5G. So if you really were focused on 5G and wanted to go 5G, you've got, this BR1 or BR2 line is what you're looking for. Now there's two flavors of each.
Just to clarify that a little bit, that's the BR1 Pro and the BR2 Pro, right?
BR1 Pro and the BR2 Pro. So BR1 is for one modem, BR2 is this one. This is dual modem. So we have so many antennas on this one. It is a dual 5G modem. Now for both of those, you have two flavors. They just did a new version, a refresh. The new one is the X62 5G chip. So you still have two modems, and you still, it's the same BR1 or BR2, but you're going to see a new X62, and that is the new chip. If you're looking for the latest and greatest, that would be it. The BR2 X62 chip is the latest and greatest out of Peplink. Right now, the big Black Friday sale on this is for the BR2 X62 chip. You're going to get $400 off. It's typically $28.99, and now it's $24.99. So you have a $400 rebate if you have a trade-in device. So if you have an old modem, an old hotspot, anything that connected to the internet that you're no longer using, you can send us the serial number of that device, say that's what you're trading in, and you can get $400 off. Now, if you don't have one of those old units sitting around, we have some, and we're selling them for $1. So if you needed one, just let us know customer service, and we can make sure you have access to a trade-in device if you want $400 off these. Now, the BR1 X62 also is running a Black Friday sale, and they've extended the Prime Care access to it. So Prime Care, think of it like an extended warranty. So it is, every purchase comes with 1 year Prime Care. With the BR1 for Black Friday, it's going to a 2-year. So it comes included with 2 years versus just 1 year. So that's like 100 and, I don't know the price of Prime Care for that particular month. I think it's usually like $120.
That sounds about right. Just because I know I just looked up the BR2 Pro the other day for a customer, and I think that was $249. So 120 something would.
It's around 120. I can look it up. So you're going to get that extra, so you don't have to think about it for 2 whole years. And that's on the BR1 X62. Now we have the older version, the X55s. So it's the BR1 X55 and the BR2 Pro X55. And those are both 15% off if you wanted to just get a little bit older and a little bit of a steeper deal. Those are great options that are there. So you can see the latest price on our website if you go search that. So just make sure if you're looking at one of these 5G units, you're looking at the right one. X55 is the older one, and then X62 is the newer one.
Got it. Well, that's a really nice set of deals. I just want to point out for the X62 versions of the BR1 Pro and BR2 Pro, you're talking about a device that came out literally weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, I think, is when we talked about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, very recent.
And also, if you have any questions about the differences between those two versions, we do have a live stream from a couple weeks ago where we had Chris and Cherie from Mobile Internet Resource Center, and they did a great comparison that talks about what are the advantages of an X62 chip versus an X55 chip. And I think that's if you're not sure, that's a great place to start in terms of reference. And you can find that on our YouTube channel under past live streams, or under Facebook as well on our group there.
I mean, what from a marketing standpoint, what I was excited about is these are the four top most selling routers we've got, and we were able to get them into Black Friday. Um, so we're not selling routers that we don't typically move that much, or routers that don't, we don't necessarily recommend. These are our number one recommended routers, and the ones we were able to get into to Black Friday. So,
Yeah.
just something I wanted to point out. The
No,
last,
I just one more thing I just wanted to say
yeah,
there too. This isn't one of those Black Friday sales where we're only selling the first 2 devices at that sort of low price either. This is one of those Black Friday sales where we're gonna sell them as for that time period, whether we have
yeah,
them in stock or not, right, I
yeah.
think. So,
I
yeah.
think for the Peplink, yeah. I mean, we have enough of these where I'm not. I mean, stock, there is a limit, but we have enough to where if you are focused and you don't wait till the last day, you should definitely look at one.
Yep. Awesome.
The last internet related one is the Parsec Akita Lite. This is a relatively new antenna that came out this summer for us. It's designed to be completely inside mounted. It is rated to be outside mounted, so if you want to put it outside, that's fine. But the idea is it comes with 6 feet of cable. You can mount it high inside a cabinet above the Peplink, all inside. You can just Velcro it to the wall if you wanted, and you can really improve your reception from the Peplink paddle antennas that we see here. So that antenna, I don't remember the price on that one, but that is a great option if you're looking for not necessarily doing any roof installs or anything complicated on the roof. This one you can stick high up in a corner, um, and it does a really good job at improving reception. I will say, big disclaimer though, make sure you don't have any metal in the walls of your RV. So Airstreams are where there's metal outside. Some manufacturers are putting metal in the insulation layers though. So make sure you don't even have any like tinfoil or metal coatings on any of the insulation. If you're looking at that antenna, you've got to get outside if you've got a metal box. But yeah,
Yep.
if you're in fiberglass and just kind of foam, then it works well.
Yep. No, that's great. I mean, the Akita, I think Mark has still ranked the Akita as one of their best performing antennas for the situation. So,
Yeah, and I'll just say so this is the Akita Lite specifically. The only difference between the Lite and the non-Lite, the regular Akita, is the cables that come down. The Lite uses slightly thinner cables, which make them routing those cables very easy to do inside. And at 6 feet, you're not going to have really any noticeable loss over that length, especially with a thinner cable. The regular Akita has thicker cables, so you have less loss over a long distance. So that's why you can do 15 feet with that antenna that we don't necessarily offer with the Lite, because you have loss at that level. So the Akita Lite we've kind of geared to be the inside mount antenna.
okay. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So that
All right.
covers the internet section for us.
Yeah.
What's next?
So the next one would be our surge protectors. So we do full RV surge protection. We have the Hughes Autoform Power Watchdog collection. As a traveler, I've tested all different kinds of surge units. I have gone through a couple myself, and we absolutely love the Power Watchdog units. So that's why we started selling them and partnering with them. We have the full lineup on sale. It's 15% off. It is cheaper than what you're seeing on Amazon and anywhere else. So it's definitely a great deal. The ones, and I have a short video coming out on YouTube probably either later today or tomorrow if you want to like see more about this. But they're the units that will plug right into the pedestal, and then your RV power cable will plug right into those. So I've got the pedestal mounted ones. We also have direct wire ones. So if you wanted to wire it into your electrical system, so you don't even have to think about it, you don't even ever see it. We've got those options too. They're for 50 amp RVs, and then there's a 30 amp RV option. So those are kind of your main units, but the whole line is on sale. So you have extra surge units. Like what's great about the Power Watchdog is if you have a surge event, and it blows your surge protector, it will stay online, but you're no longer surge protected. And you can just buy a new surge unit, just the actual module. You don't have to get a whole new box. So even those are on sale if you want to stock up on those. We have all their accessories from voltmeters that you can plug in and check your voltage. to their multimeters, which is actually my favorite multimeter I've ever had. They did a really good job with that. So a great lineup of stuff if you have any need for a new surge protector. Now, there's actually a couple of features I didn't talk about, which we could just highlight. So one is on your phone, there is an app for the surge protector, which is super cool. Let me pull that up. Power. And so you can see at any point in time, connect, what your usage is. So I can
Wow.
let the camera focus, but it'll get there. But you can see, like, I'm on a 50 amp, so I have two lines, and I can see what my actual watts is. I can see my amps. I can see the frequency and the volts. So I can always monitor from my phone. Now, it is Bluetooth, so you can't be anywhere and monitor it. But as long as I'm on Bluetooth, I can see that. I've used it more in the summer when I'm watching AC loads because I have three ACs and I'm charging an inverter and stuff. Where the winter, it is usable in the winter too because I have two electric heaters, so we want to make sure we're balancing power and all that. So it has been beneficial. But if you go with this, all of the units have Bluetooth, and then if you go with the slightly bigger units, they're going to have EPO, which means emergency power off. If you are in a place that has low voltage, these will shut off power to your RV, and that will save your appliances in if there is low voltage. You don't want to go below like 108 volts. That can really mess with your AC compressors. It can be what starts a fire in your electric heaters because they don't have enough energy or electricity to actually create the heat. So having emergency power off can be really important.
That sounds like I know we were really excited when we got Watchdog on board. That's
Hmm.
a cool product line for us. So
Yeah,
it's nice to see
absolutely.
they're on sale too. So that's the power side of things.
That's the power side of things. Yeah.
I do want to just point out we did have one comment
Mm,
from a customer talking about um, I think they're trying to buy the TST flow through sensors, and the discount is showing off a little different than what their end price would be. If you do have questions like that, this is a great place for it. But two, just please live chat with our customer service staff. They are more than happy to help you either manually apply the discount or um, refund you if something is wrong after you make a purchase. If you notice that something's wrong too, where
yeah.
we always want to give you the benefit of the doubt there.
I
So
will say though, it looks like that comment might have a membership related comment. We were able to get such good deals with the manufacturer. It outpaced what our normal membership discounts are. So the membership, it doesn't stack in this case because we're
okay.
normal membership discounts are depending on which level you get around 10%. These are 15 to 20% discounts. So in most cases, they're not going to stack, and that might be what the issue is. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, these are not stacking with members because the deals are so good, anyways. It's
Yeah,
better than what your membership
this is
is
the better deal. You want
mhm,
this deal versus just the member
versus the
deal in so
membership
many
one.
ways, you
Yeah, and
know?
we can talk about memberships at the end, but you
And
can
we don't
always
wanna
save.
and we don't wanna punish someone for having a membership either. Like, they get
Yeah,
that
so
discount instead of the Black Friday
everyone has
discount.
access to 15 or 20% or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yep,
Hmm.
yep.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. So that covers power. But I think that's a good lead into the TST next then, since we're on
Yeah,
that safety
sure.
track.
So TST, we can do, so TST is 15% off. Again, it's the full line of TST. We've got the standard flow through or cap sensors, which we can talk about the difference of those. We also have the in tire sensors. So if you're getting new tires put on, that's actually a good option. No one can take them because it's literally inside the rubber. And a lot of RVs are starting to come with that. So if you need any um, additional sensors, it can be a good way to add to make your RV complete. Like I know I have a dually truck and a tri-axle trailer. Since my truck was over 10,000 pounds, the government says I didn't need a TPMS included, so there was no tire system on the truck. So I have six sensors on the truck, six sensors on the trailer, and I actually have two for each spare. So I have, what is that, 14 total. And so all of those sensors are 15% off. You can get the kits. We sell in a couple different ways. You can buy it in a kit where you get the screen, the repeaters, all the parts to get completely set up. And you can buy that for 4 tires, 6 tires, 8 tires, and then you can add on additional ones if you need. So buy sets of 2. So if you needed 14 tires, you could do that. You can mix and match your flow through sensors and your cap sensors. It's no problem. It's all comes down to really what type of tire you're putting the sensor on. If your tire has a metal stem, so the part where you are going to put air in, if that is metal, you can go with the flow through sensors. If it's rubber, you do the cap sensors. And the cap sensors will also work on metal, but you have to have metal for the flow through. It's just because they weigh more. So you just have to have a little bit more force to hold them on. Yeah, so everything is 50. So if you want to add a couple sensors, if you want to just
Pick up some
upgrade from what you
spares.
currently
Yeah.
are, pick up spares, you could do that. What I love about the TST stuff is the batteries are replaceable, so we don't really need spares, unfortunately for us. You can just replace the batteries. But we have O-rings. If water ever got into one and you want to replace the ring for your batteries, you can do that. We don't sell batteries for these. Because we just didn't need to. But the batteries I'm finding last about 2 years. I just replaced all of my batteries, and I think actually it's probably a 3-year-old system. So it's
And
been 2 to 3 years.
they're fairly standard battery sizes too, though, right? I mean, are
They're
they
a
hard
little
to find
round.
or
No, I just ordered them on Amazon. They're like little
yeah.
round ones, and it's like 15. I can get the number if I need to, but it's like it started with a 15 for the battery size.
The good
Um,
news is when you
yeah,
take out the old one, it's printed on the battery, so that
it is
helps.
printed on it. Absolutely.
That's where I always find them when I need to order new ones. So
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, whole lineup is 15% off, so it is a great time. It's good stocking stuffer if you're looking for something.
yeah, there you go. I love
I,
it.
I will say, I mean, TST was something we created a must-have with around internet and TST. They came out from the beginning, and it's definitely a must-have for us traveling on the road. Not knowing the condition of my tires while driving was super scary. And knowing that if I had an issue, one's going to heat up and I can get that sensor alert immediately, it's really important. So if you are traveling and you don't have a way to monitor your tires, before you buy anything else, definitely get this because everyone that has an RV will have a tire go out on you. It's not a matter of if, it's a when. And so this can really help make sure that if you have a tire go out, you know immediately before it's caused an issue, or you can catch it before it actually creates an issue. If you have a blowout, it could blow out your whole side fender. And so you don't want that to happen. You'll know if you've got one of these, if you're having a pressure issue, if you're having a heat issue, if something's hit a tire and has caused something to go wacky, these sensors are telling you that. So they're really important to have.
Well, and I would also think that as you transition, like we were talking about the other day, you're sort of in your slow migration south, I think,
I
to
am.
get to
Yeah.
more sunlight and you don't want to
Heat.
be up in the cave dwellers with us up here in the Northeast for the winter, right? Which I totally respect and understand. And
Mhm.
but as you change climates, I would think your tire pressure, you sort of need to be aware of that as you
Yeah.
transition.
Just like we all have a dead battery when it gets really cold, you'll tire sensors will go off too. So
Yep.
it's definitely something good to have. And when I have a low tire or I've gotten that notification from TST, I use our Vire system to fill it
What
up.
what an impressive transition. I love that. I'm
Mhm.
gonna give you some
Yeah.
applause for
So the
just
Vire systems are also 15% off, which we're super excited that we were able to offer that. It's the first year we've been able to do that with Vire. It is, I mean, for me, tire safety is so critical. Not to be salesy by any stretch, but before starting working here and before all of this was stuff I'd already purchased. This was stuff I was
yep.
like, you have to have it in the RV. You have to know when your tires are going to have an issue, and that's what the sensors are for. And you have to be able to solve the issue when you have one. And then that's where the Vire stuff comes in. So they are 150 psi designed pressure tire inflators, and they do their job to the best, and they're very portable. A lot of people I've met on the road have these big, like Lowe's Husky brand tire or like inflation units. They're
Yep.
very loud. They wake everybody up in the morning. and they're bulky. You've got to have a large amount of space to kind of carry that. These are very compact. Trying to think, like they would fit inside a 3-gallon bucket. Like if I had like it's about that size. So
Yeah.
very small. They are hefty because they're made out of good quality materials, but they're not overly heavy. And yeah, I use mine, I would say twice a month, filling up some tire that's low or something. I can also fill up bike tires with it or basketballs or any of the crap the kids have on them. And so it's just very, very portable and it works on 12-volt directly. So I just plug it into either the RV house batteries or the truck batteries. And then with the hose is, I think, 100 feet. So you can get to everything without moving the power source around.
Nice. That's and Viair to me is sort of the gold standard for that stuff for RVing at this point.
It's what they're made. I mean, we only carry the RV line, but they've got compressors that are designed to be like built into the, to underneath your truck. They've got inline compression to do, to like for Jeeps and things that want to change their pressure while they're driving. They've got crazy stuff. We just focus on the RV line, but yeah, they are definitely the owners of that space.
Got it. Got it. Very
Hmm.
cool. All right. So we've done internet, we've done power and surge protection, we've done tire safety. Is there anything else?
There is. Let's see. Let me check my note. Well, no. So that's it. Actually, that is kind of your main lineup. Got your internet. I'm just checking my full list. Yeah, that's all of them. That's what we've got. That's a
Very
big. I mean,
cool.
That's the biggest Black Friday we've ever had. So I'm very excited that it kind of has all come together.
Oh, water filtration. Hunter just totally got us there.
We Yeah, we don't. So blue specifically is not doing anything yet for water filtration. We did run a big Prime Day in October sale for that. So these sales, a lot of them are run by the manufacturers, and we're just kind of passing them through. But no water yet. We'll see if they come in on maybe that Black Friday holiday specifically.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Very good. Well, Hunter, thank you for that question. We really do appreciate it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Sorry, there isn't more of a discount there yet, but if there is, we will certainly announce it and put it on the site for sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
Um, if anybody is interested in the Viair stuff, there's different levels. We've covered in a couple of videos, so I don't want to cover it here, but unless someone had the question specifically, if like what type of RV you had and which one, there's 4 different levels of Viair. So if anybody's interested, that might be something fun to cover. But
yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't think we have not done a tire inflation live stream yet. I think that's probably
Hmm.
that and Watchdog are, I think, the two we haven't really covered yet.
Okay.
But
Okay. Oh,
but
you know what? We did miss one. It's Icotech.
oh, of
And the cable
course.
entry.
Our
Yeah.
our famous German friends, as they
Yeah,
say.
so this is a new product we launched 2 weeks ago, and it's actually nothing that expensive or fancy, but it took us forever to figure it out. So I'm really excited we finally were able to like bring it to market. If you've ever been in an RV or installing something, you might have something on your roof and you want to bring it inside. It could be your Starlink antenna, it could be one of our antennas, could be a WeBoost. There's so many different. I've tried a couple different ways to do it, and it's always challenging creating a watertight solution through your outside into your inside. And a lot of grommets are questionable. And then you have to also have the tips in the grommets, make sure your cable ends go through and then they tighten enough. It's been a challenge. So we found the Icotech solution, and that's just the manufacturer. Even then, we had a hard time figuring out exactly how to buy them, what they were. And after installing them ourselves personally on our RVs and then a couple influence RVs and like personal installs we've done, we've absolutely fallen in love with them. And to solve the purchasing problem, we created bundles. So depending on what type of antenna you buy from us, we've created bundles that will perfectly match the right cable size to the right grommet size. You don't have to figure out that math. And then we've paired it with housings that are just simple and easy. So we have, so for an install example, if you're installing something on a roof, we typically put a box a junction box, like a 12 by 12 by 4 junction box up on the roof. You can put the antenna right on that junction box if you want, or you can put the antenna off to the side and have the wires go sideways into the junction box. And when the wires go into the junction box, that's been the cable water problem, is how do you keep rain out of this box when you've got cables going in? And that's where this Icotech solution really solves the problem. We just did a YouTube video last week really showing how this comes together. So you could watch that after this live. Don't leave me, but do it afterwards. And you can see us actually putting it all together. It slides in. You don't have to cut the ends off of any cables. You can put it anywhere. You can put it right on the roof. You can put it in the box. You've got a couple different options. So that's 20% off all the Icotech stuff. And I think even our bundles are like $45 or $50. So it's not a big spend, but it can be a real solution if you're struggling with cable entry. Oh, and in our bundles, we've got options for all Starlink antennas. So whether it's the dishy, the little rectangle dishy one, or the high performance that we sell directly, we have all the grommets so that can work directly with the bundles we have.
Okay, very cool. And we have another question here. I'm going to show this one on the screen just because I think it'll help.
Sure.
I have a B van. I currently have a Watchdog 30 amp mobile and a 30-foot smart plug cord that I use on the road. I also have I guess there's no real question there. Mark, did you have a question that goes with that, or did I just jump the gun here? Sorry. That's a classic of doing this live and reading the
smart plugs are cool. We have a video coming out on the smart plug cord. But yeah, basically where do you plug it into your RV? The plug will tell you if there's any ground issues or neutral problems or anything. So you don't have to watch for error codes on the Watchdog itself.
Nice.
So that's a cool product too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very cool. That's a nice setup. Oh wait, here's he's considering adding a longer cord. Want to know if a fixed Watchdog would be the right for the application.
So there's two types of Watchdogs here. There is the one that goes on the pedestal. You're not adding any length though. You're adding, maybe a foot and a half. I have that option. I don't have really enough room to install one in my bay. I also haven't had time. So I just go to my pedestal.
Not as
for the home. Well, so I think my answer is going to work either way, because I go to the pedestal, so wherever I'm getting power from, whether that's an RV camp, when I've gone to Eric's campground, doesn't matter. I can plug in my Watchdog and then I plug the RV into it. So it's a thing in between. Eric has actually installed the hardwired one inside his Class A. So he takes his regular extension cord that comes out of his Class A on the fancy reel that I don't have, and he'll just plug in to whatever receptacle is there. And at the end of the reel is where the Watchdog is, but it's inside his coach.
Nice.
A lot of people will do that if they're concerned about security of where they're plugging in or something like that. So the cord can't ever really be taken because it's installed in his RV and it's just plugged in the receptacle. So if you're concerned about security of your surge protective unit, a lot of people just install the hardwired one. It's not a hard install. We have a video. I think Eric just recorded a video of him installing his. So we're hoping to get that out soon. But it's the same unit. It's just, do you want it in front of your power plug or do you want it inside? And that's really what it comes down to. It's the same housing, same unit overall, though.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Well, Mark,
so
thank you very much for the question.
Yeah, the answer is yes, it would be the right application, but you just have to figure out where you want. Are you okay with it being on the outside? Or do you want it plugged into, wired into the electronics of your van? Either will work.
And as always, Mark, if you have sort of more detailed questions and you want to talk with someone, you can schedule a phone call with one of our customer service staff, or you can email us at info@mobilemusthave.com, or during store hours, you can also live chat with our customer service team as well. So very cool. You are now glowing orange, Andy.
The day I'm using a window for my light and it's slowly dying. So I'm trying to bring in some more light over here
No,
now.
that's okay. It's a good. I think it's a good transition. Actually, we're gonna have start to have a new segment on these live streams called the customer spotlight. And
Okay.
so we met the customer that I'm going to feature in this video here in this video package here in a second. Uh, yes, it's pre-recorded, which is why I look different, and that's fine. Um, is Yeah, his name's Darvin. Darvin lives has started a business where he is literally streaming local high school sports in the small town where he lives for the people of that town, because as he said, a lot of the people in that town don't can't necessarily travel the hours to go see a football game on a Friday night, and they still want to be a fan and be a supportive fan. So he's using some of the stuff that we sell, including the Transit Pro, I want to point out, as his solution for being on the road versus what he used to use, which was just a simple hotspot. So both of us are gonna sort of jump off the stage here, and then I will play the video if I can do this correctly on StreamYard. Bear with me if I screw it up. I'm sorry that this is live and we're still learning as we go. But here we go. Let's see what happens. So nice to meet you. Obviously, we really appreciate you taking the time to work with us and talk about the solution you've used our products for. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thank you as well for an opportunity to come and chat. I have had it's been a great experience so far working with Mobile Must Have. I found the customer service to be super helpful. I'm trying to like solve a problem that there is no direct straight line website to, step me through how to do all these things. And your sales and support staff have been super helpful, just helping me problem solve through the purchase that I made. I live in rural Iowa and central Iowa, and I run a broadcasting live streaming business that broadcasts high school sports through our local high school. So I follow our teams around during football, volleyball, basketball, and wrestling seasons and bring live video coverage of our high school varsity teams during those seasons, both when we're at home here in Tama, Iowa, and when we're away all throughout the state and the region. We go an hour, 2 hours away, depending on the season. And so that kind of is what led me to the PepLink product and to investigating kind of what Mobile Must Have has. Last year, I started doing video broadcasting as part of the business, and that sort of required additional internet connection access. And I used just a small US cellular hotspot that I just found at a cell phone retailer. And when I didn't have local Wi-Fi available, that would be my internet source. So if I am out maybe 200, 300 yards away from a high school next to a cornfield at a football field somewhere, which some of our football fields are right in the rural areas there, they don't have Wi-Fi that comes out there. And so then I have to just kind of cross my fingers and hope that last year anyway, that the cell coverage that I had on that hotspot was going to be right for that situation. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. And so there were a few times last year where my broadcast dropped out. I lost video signal altogether and I had to restart the broadcast. There were even a couple where I wasn't able to get back on at all. I just had no internet whatsoever. Or it would be where I would show up 2 or 3 hours before game time. And when I'm speed testing before the stadium fills up, everything seems great. And then all of a sudden, maybe it's senior night, maybe it's, youth football league night, and, hundreds of fans show up and start kind of clogging down the cell phone tower that is, getting used. And all of a sudden my signal just nosedives. So that kind of led me to trying to figure out a different solution that could give me more flexibility and keep me on the air. So I kind of offer YouTube and Facebook live streaming. We're on for about an hour and a half to 3 hours. Even do some tournaments. I just did a volleyball tournament 2 weekends ago, and that was like a 6-hour broadcast. And so it kind of varies in how long and when and where I'm at, but it's kind of the remote mobile aspect of it.
Solution did you go with?
Yeah.
From Mobile Must Have?
So I went with the Road Warrior bundle, and that gave me a Peplink Transit Duo router and a Husky antenna. And it also came with a mounting bracket, the antenna did. I particularly was interested in the Transit Duo because it had 2 modems, which would allow me to have multiple carriers, multiple SIM cards from different carriers, and be able to use them simultaneously. I was really looking for a product that would bond multiple Wi-Fi or internet signals together. I'm not an expert in any of that. And so I kind of had to research my way through, how does all this work? How do I go about finding a product that'll suit my needs? The first places that I came to were more broadcast or corporate broadcast quality products they seemed, like they could work for my situation. And of course, a lot of those companies and places, they don't give you the pricing straight away. So I kind of had to do some customer servicing and investigating, and then I get the pricing finally after the pitch, and it's all like, oh, okay, yeah, that's way too. I'm a single person trying to like go around and broadcast high school sports with small cameras, and I'm very far away from a TV production.
Yeah.
And so those things were just way out of my budget. I had kind of been looking through some different Facebook groups and online forums that I'd kind of gotten tied in with, and had been recommended the Peplink routers as a solution that could do some internet bonding, and be pretty durable, be pretty sturdy units that could be taken out and be used in a mobile sort of setting. And that's kind of what got me to finding Mobile Must Have, and finding I think, is it the Mobile Internet Resource Center, that the website you guys kind of do some partnering with, and was really just impressed in the kind of breadth of information and help that those, both your site and their site, kind of had, as far as Peplink products and mobile internet solutions. So really kind of thought that the Transit Duo would be a good sort of price point for my budget. I felt definitely comfortable with where that was at. It was, not a ton less. I mean, it was enough less than those other, more corporate solutions that kind of made me pull the trigger on it. And also having, an antenna that could kind of go out and give me some distance, to be able to kind of get the receivers kind of out from, a press box. If I'm in a football press box, that was helpful as well. So.
Yeah, those high school football press boxes are probably, there's lots of metal in the construction of those, and would make receiving Wi-Fi pretty difficult sometimes, or even cellular signals, right?
Yeah, exactly. So last year, my home, the press box at our home stadium, we can get Wi-Fi from our school building, which is about 150 yards away. It reaches the door of the press box and then dies completely. And so I would kind of tilt my little hotspot out the window and just make a feeble attempt to kind of get me connected inside the building with the hotspot that's kind of pointed outside, and it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. And so now I've got an antenna that can go either on the roof or out, maybe mounted to the top of the bleachers, something to that effect. And it allows me to receive local Wi-Fi from a school or wherever they have their Wi-Fi set up at, but also get better cell signal from the different carriers that I have SIM cards at. So right now I'm set up to where I have a Verizon SIM, a T-Mobile SIM, and a US Cellular SIM still on my hotspot unit. So in an ideal situation, I've got 4 solid internet streams that I'm able to put in the SpeedFusion tunnel and give me a bonded signal. And so far it's been been great. I haven't had any problems so far, but the season is still a little young. I've got some weeks to go yet. So
Well, that just means we get to schedule a follow-up interview with you and see how you did from 6 months from now.
yeah, exactly. In fact,
But
next here in 2 weeks is kind of I had one broadcast last year that was the worst as far as just dying on me completely, and I couldn't get back online at all, and I was just sort of sweating in the press box trying to find anybody's cell phone that I could get, Jimmy rig a hotspot off of, and none of it worked, and it was just kind of a colossal, stress fest. And so I'm going back there to that same press box, to the same venue here in 2 weeks, and I'm fingers
that
crossed.
sounds like the big test for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to hear how that goes. But while we have you here, I mean, where could people go to check out the live streams of some of these sports? Maybe we can get you a couple extra followers
Yeah, right on.
and streamers. Hey, everybody likes football, so
You got it. Yeah. So the broadcast platform is called Trojan Country. We're the South Tama County Trojans, and so we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live at just STC Trojan Country.
Okay.
Try our best to kind of bring a community focused broadcast, getting players and coaches involved, and kind of trying to go a little above and beyond just game time coverage, and doing our best to sort of build community in the way that we can. We don't have a radio station that's local. Our newspaper is much diminished from where it was in recent years. And so the media coverage landscape in our area is just very minimal, because we're far enough away from any of the cities that the larger, newspapers or TV stations and such, they don't come out and cover us. And so if I'm not out there broadcasting games, interviewing players, doing that sort of coverage, then it just doesn't happen for our community. And it's just not an acceptable thing for me. I feel like our kids and our community deserve something like that. So I'm doing my best to try and provide that.
Well, that is awesome, and we're big fans of that concept of grassroots and small towns and doing everything you can to let fans be able to follow their teams. I mean, not everybody can just drive across the state, every time they want to go watch a football game. So
absolutely, we hear most frequently from older family members that aren't able to travel, grandparents and different community members, maybe that even don't have kids in school or grandkids in school, and they want to still feel like they can be a part of things. They're the ones that have been the most outspoken so far to kind of let us know that they're watching and that they appreciate, what we're able to do. I think we had our homecoming parade in our downtown area here a week and a half ago, and it was our highest view count broadcast that we've had since we started doing video. And just being able to kind of put a camera right in the middle of the parade and kind of talk people through it, I think was a helpful thing. It was fun to do for me too. So yeah,
I think at this point you're going to just start your own television company. I mean, this is great. That's the beauty, I think, of YouTube and everything that's out there now.
Yeah,
is so much of what's really great about media is you can do a lot of this stuff yourself. Whereas, even 5 years ago, maybe you could do a radio broadcast and a live stream that way, but to really stream video is a pretty cool technology trick. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, the landscape has certainly flattened in that regard. The barrier to entry on these things is way lower than it used to be, and it invites a lot of creativity and kind of problem solving, I think, to try and figure out, well, how can we do this in a way that's sustainable, in a way that is beneficial to the viewers, and not just I think last year, that's part of the thing that I try and improve on, from season to season, is looking back at the broadcasts, trying to see, okay, well, how are we looking? I think last year I looked at our football broadcasts, and our camera I had a smaller camera. it was too far away, and you couldn't really make out the numbers or any of the players. And so upgraded to a little larger camera with an optical zoom, and that allowed, just trying to make the end product as good as it can be within the confines of me just being a single person trying to make all this happen. It's a part-time thing for me too. I work full-time in an office job, and so I'm kind of doing these things on the edges as well, but it's been a super rewarding thing. And
yeah, so you're literally the play-by-play guy, the director, the producer, the cameraman, or multiple cameramen, and are you live switching between different cameras, or are you using one camera?
Year, I have one camera right now. I had multiple cameras last year and would do a little bit of switching, and I'm not quite sure. When I get to winter season, it might change a little bit, but right now I've got a PTZ camera that I think normally gets used in corporate conferences, church type settings where it can be mounted and then remote controlled different places. I also don't have a remote control operator, and so I mount the PTZ. It has some presets, so when I get there, I can sort of point the camera different places and figure out, okay, if I want a 50-yard line shot, it's going to look here. If I'm going to catch the red zone to the left of me, it's going to be here. And so I can preset some of those to go different places. But most often when I'm moving with game action, I'm just manually panning with my one hand. And then it's not too bad. I don't have too many graphics going on. I've got a little bit, but nothing too crazy, just kind of a sponsor slideshow. And I have a second camera that catches the live scoreboard, so I just do picture in picture with that and put that in the corner. I didn't have that last football season, so I was doing some manual scoreboard entering, and that got a little hairy. So it's a little better this year. I've got some color announcers that work with me too, so they give me some kind of breathing room a little bit when I need to attend to the network or the computer. But honestly, this year I haven't had to think about the internet once. That since I hit live and start broadcasting, I haven't had to click over to the Peplink dashboard and maybe think about what's going on. It's been pretty rock solid for me. And of course, that mileage varies a little bit depending on the cell coverage in the different places, but so far I've been pretty fortunate. I'm not completely out in the middle of nowhere. We're about an hour from Des Moines in central Iowa. So but so far it's been really reliable, and I'm excited to see as I go to more places and do more sports here at the tail end of this season, and then the winter season, how it kind of holds up in different venues as well. But so far I had Mobile Must Have when I went through the sales process, purchased a kind of a setup package where you guys kind of came in and helped me get it configured. Since that time, I haven't really had to go in and tinker with too much in the Peplink dashboard. It's been pretty plug and play since we got it set up and got it configured. And that's been just one thing I don't have to worry about as I'm planning. So that's been really nice.
Oh, that's great to hear. Personally, selfishly, that's great for me to hear because I'm the one that designed the setup and training program.
Oh, right on.
But I will pass that along to our team for sure. We really appreciate those kind words, and we can't wait to hear more from you. This is terrific. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Absolutely, anytime. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, what was the mascot of the football team again?
The Trojans. The
Trojans. Okay.
Trojans. Yeah.
We'll go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
And we are back. Although I think we flipped sides, but that's all right. Thank you again to Darvin. We really appreciate him taking the time to join us to be able to record that session. And if you have a similar use case or even a different use case, please reach out to us. We're problem solvers before anything else. So
we are IT people that just like solving problems. That's why the whole company started.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, I think this wraps up our Black Friday sale preview show. Thank you again, Andy, for hopping in and walking us through all of those sales. And for anybody that's watching this after the fact, what were the dates for the sale one more time?
Yeah, so the sale's going to stay live until basically through Black Friday. So
okay.
It'll turn off at the end of whatever that. I'm sorry, through the end of Cyber Monday. So whatever that Monday is, at midnight is when everything will turn off.
Yeah. So not this coming Monday, but next Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving. So very good.
It's last. Like if we run out, we might not get one. So
yep.
Don't dilly dally too long.
Very good. Well, thank you, Andy, and thank you everyone for tuning in. And for anyone that watches this after the fact, we will see you not next week because I'm not going to do a live stream during Thanksgiving dinner. But we'll see you the week after. And thank you all very much.